Atlanta, listen to me for a second. Something huge might be coming to this franchise. Something that could shake the entire NFC South. Something that could drag the Falcons out of this darkness and finally bring real leadership back to Atlanta. I'm talking about a move so unexpected, so shocking, that it could save this team from completely falling apart. Stay with me, because this might be the moment everything changes. For weeks, all we've heard is the same thing: Raheem Morris is hanging by a thread. One bad week. One bad game. One more slip, and he's gone. Everyone feels it. The locker room feels it. The fans feel it. Atlanta is tired, frustrated, and waiting for a sign of hope. And today, that sign finally showed up. Because earlier this week, a trusted media source made a phone call that could reshape the entire future of the Atlanta Falcons. Not rumor. Not fantasy. A real conversation from someone who knows things. And what he said was simple: keep your eye on Matt LaFleur. At first, it didn't even make sense. Matt LaFleur? The man with one of the best coaching starts in NFL history? The coach who guided the Packers through drama, roster changes, and the Jordan Love transition without losing control? But then, it all started coming together. Green Bay, one of the NFL's most stable franchises, might actually make a move if they miss the playoffs. A move that nobody expected. A move that could push LaFleur out of Green Bay. And if that happens? Atlanta would sprint. Not walk. Not wait. Sprint to get him. Because LaFleur is not just a coach, he's a stabilizer. He's calm. He's smart. He wins. He builds quarterbacks. He runs a clean locker room, no drama, no nonsense. He is everything this franchise is missing right now. And here's the twist. He still has a real connection with Atlanta. A good one. A strong one. The kind that doesn't fade. And according to this report, he would be interested in coming back. Imagine that. After years of chaos, years of false hope, years of heartbreak, Atlanta could finally get a proven winner. If Green Bay ever lets him walk even for a second, Raheem Morris is done by morning. The Falcons would grab LaFleur immediately. Because after back-to-back first-time head coaches, Atlanta doesn't need another experiment. They need stability. They need leadership. They need someone who knows how to win today, not someone learning on the job. This could be the moment Atlanta finally steps away from mediocrity and steps toward a real future. Sometimes a franchise reaches a crossroads so sharp, so unavoidable, that every decision feels like it could flip the future overnight. And right now, the Falcons are staring straight at one of those moments. Because behind all the public statements, all the press conference smiles, and all the carefully rehearsed answers, there's a quiet storm brewing about Atlanta's next move at the top of the coaching pyramid. And the whispers? They're getting louder. The talk inside league circles is simple: Atlanta needs experience. Atlanta needs stability. Atlanta needs someone who can walk into the building and immediately command respect. But that idea comes with its own danger, because experience can lead you to greatness, or drag you right back into the mud. That's why the thought of someone like Mike McCarthy entering the picture sends a chill down the spine. His resume has weight, sure, but his impact? His creativity? His ability to evolve? That's where the fear starts creeping in. But then, almost like a twist in a movie, another name keeps slipping into conversations, a name that could change everything: Matt LaFleur. And here's where it gets interesting, because the rumblings out of Green Bay say this: if the Packers miss the playoffs, LaFleur could be out. That alone would shake the league. But for the Falcons? It could be a gift from the football gods. LaFleur isn't just a good coach. He's someone who's guided a franchise through a turbulent quarterback transition, from the legendary Aaron Rodgers to the unpredictable, developing Jordan Love. He's had seasons of brilliance, seasons of grit, seasons where he squeezed more out of that roster than anyone had the right to expect. And let's not forget the connection that Atlanta fans still talk about like mythology. 2016, the year the Falcons' offense became a machine of pure destruction. The year Matt Ryan turned into an MVP. The year the league had no answers. LaFleur was there, the quarterback coach behind the curtain, learning the system, shaping it, understanding it at a level only the staff in those rooms could grasp. After Atlanta, his rise was quick: Rams quarterback coach, Titans offensive coordinator, then Green Bay. And a record that still demands respect: more than 70 wins in his tenure. But the league doesn't care about yesterday's success. The expectations in Green Bay have shifted. They made massive moves, even going after a star like Micah Parsons, because they expect more. They want titles. They want dominance. And when that doesn't come fast enough, the blame always lands on the headset. So now the question becomes unavoidable: if LaFleur becomes available, how do the Falcons not run to the phone? Because sometimes change isn't about a team being bad. Sometimes it's about timing. Sometimes it's about a franchise and a coach needing a fresh start at the exact same moment. And if that moment arrives, if Green Bay lets him walk, Atlanta may never get a better chance to reshape the future overnight. There's something powerful about a coach who has stood on the biggest stage the sport has to offer, the Super Bowl. Because once you've been there, once you've felt that pressure, that heartbeat in your throat intensity, you don't come back the same. You come back sharper, tougher, more aware of what separates the good from the truly great. And that's exactly what makes the idea of Matt LaFleur even more compelling for Atlanta. He's been part of those moments. He's worked under Dan Quinn, someone who understands this city, this franchise, this fan base, which means the connection isn't theoretical. It's real. It's lived. It's familiar. And that familiarity matters more than most people realize. Raheem Morris, more than anyone, values alignment: coaches who speak the same language, who understand the same principles, who can walk into the room and instantly blend into the culture he's trying to build. And that's what LaFleur brings. He wasn't just here when Matt Ryan won MVP, he was part of the architecture behind that season. He helped shape the habits, the decisions, the timing, the clarity. He helped build the confidence that turned a talented quarterback into an unstoppable one. And then in Green Bay, he did it again, only this time, it wasn't with a future Hall of Famer. It was with Jordan Love. And people forget this part: Jordan Love didn't walk into the league looking like a first-rounder. For 2 years, he felt like a project slipping down the depth chart. Then LaFleur stepped in, put his hands on the wheel, and helped transform him into a legitimate NFL starter. That's not luck. That's development. That's coaching. That's system mastery. And this is where everything connects back to Atlanta. Michael Penix Jr. is about to enter a system rooted in the same principles LaFleur has lived in his entire career: the West Coast family tree, the McVay/Shanahan lineage, the rhythm-based timing, the play-action precision, the fast strike concepts that turn quarterbacks into field generals. People forget that even Kyle Shanahan struggled his first year with Matt Ryan. The offense was clunky. The timing was off. The chemistry wasn't there. But then they tore it all apart. They rebuilt it around what Matt did best: no huddle, quick rhythm, slants and crossers, play action heat, freedom at the line. And when the right coach meets the right quarterback inside the right system, magic happens. LaFleur comes from that exact ecosystem. Washington, Rams, Titans, Packers, McVay, Shanahan. All branches of the same offensive DNA. That's why this isn't just a good fit. It's a perfect fit. If Green Bay lets him go, if the opportunity even cracks open for a moment, Atlanta has to strike. Because this isn't just a chance to add a coach. This is a chance to add a trajectory changer. And for Raheem Morris, this could be the move that seals his future in Atlanta. Yes, the organization is still paying Arthur Smith. Yes, the financial situation complicates things. Coaches' contracts always do. But when a franchise truly believes it has the right leader, money becomes an obstacle, not a deal breaker. And the Falcons hired Raheem for a reason. They believe in him. They trust his vision. And to complete that vision, he needs someone beside him who can mold a quarterback, build an identity, and elevate this offense to something fans in Atlanta haven't seen in years. That someone might already be sitting on the edge of the league's coaching carousel, just waiting for a new beginning. There's a moment in every franchise where the pieces begin to quietly shift, almost like the tremble before an earthquake. Atlanta may be standing in one of those moments right now, a moment where decisions behind closed doors could determine the next decade of this team's identity. Because just as the conversation around the offense begins to heat up, there's another part of this team that has already started its transformation: the defense. This year, Atlanta made a difficult choice, stepping away from Jimmy Lake and bringing in Jeff Ulbrich, a coach who understands toughness, discipline, and violent precision better than most. And the results have been impossible to ignore. The defense hasn't just improved. It has come alive. Sure, stopping the run remains a challenge at times, but the pass defense? The intensity? The communication? The swagger? It's been miles ahead of what Atlanta has fielded in recent years. For the first time in a long time, the defense feels like a unit that knows who it is and where it's going. And what's even more intriguing is that this might be the second year in a row the Falcons have looked to their past, to coaches they already know, trust, and have worked alongside to reshape their future. It's a pattern. And it might be the plan. Because familiarity isn't laziness. Familiarity is clarity. It's knowing who you're building with. It's knowing who understands the culture. It's knowing who can walk in and start running, not learning. Which brings everything right back to Matt LaFleur. Imagine this scenario: Green Bay decides it's time for a fresh start. LaFleur becomes available. And Atlanta doesn't hesitate not to bring him in as a head coach, but for something even more strategic, something that could shift the long-term structure of the franchise: offensive coordinator in 2026. Not the face of the franchise. Not the man dealing with every press conference disaster. Just the architect behind the offense, the one drawing the blueprints, shaping the quarterback, aligning the system. And here's where it becomes brilliant. Because if it works, if the offense explodes, if Penix develops the way LaFleur has developed every quarterback before him, Atlanta wouldn't just have a coordinator. They would have a built-in insurance policy. A future head coach already in the building, someone who knows the roster, knows the system, and has already proven he can win at the highest level. That's not just smart. That's chess. A move like that doesn't just fix the offense. It stabilizes the future. It gives Raheem Morris the structure he needs to succeed now, while giving the franchise a safety net later. Tell the truth, that's the kind of strategic move great organizations make. A coordinator who could one day take the throne. A coach with a proven track record. A system that matches your quarterback. A philosophy that ties the entire staff together. It feels almost too perfect to be real. But sometimes, in the NFL, the perfect opportunity shows up at the perfect time if a franchise is bold enough to take it.